Last Friday, last week, working on stuff for my urbanites, my husband, he doesn't quite run, but he saunters in the room and he looks a little dazed and confused. And he says, someone just stole our car. And I said, what you talking about?
What you talking about, Willis?
He said, someone just stole our car. It was sort of like, I couldn't believe it, which is a form of sort of like, what? I didn't know what he was saying. Like, what? The car? And he didn't believe it either, because you see that? Dr. Lisa is speaking a very shallow truth here. I want to have a good night's sleep, and I don't want extra wrinkles on my face. I refuse for those criminals that took my car to have me have extra wrinkles while they're joyriding in my car. Like, does that make sense? I can't allow two thieves to hijack my peace. I can't allow it.
Just stop. Just stop the car.
If then algorithms for self-care by Ben Meir. Tip number 5. If you find yourself stuck in a mental loop, ask yourself, is this useful? And will I care about this in 1 year?
You are entering the Urban Suite with Dr. Lisa LaCon. Let's talk about urban issues plaguing our community. Let's talk about mental health. Let's talk about sex.
Hello. Welcome to the Urban Suite with me, Dr. Lisa LaCon. Welcome. Listen, this is the last Tuesday of the month of May 2024. Next Tuesday, we will be entering into, or we will actually be in the 6th month. Oh my goodness, this year is going by so fast. And what I'm going to do next week, I want to have some highlights of things that I discussed from January up until this month, including some of the events that happened this weekend, like with Nicki Minaj. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I need you all to I need you to share my Urbanites on Amazon, iHeartRadio, Apple, Spotify. I need you to share this show. We have 19,000 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you. You all are officially my Urbanites, and I appreciate you all so much. I appreciate your comments, even those trolls. I'm watching you. I know who you are. But anyway, welcome into the Urban Suite with me, Dr. Lisa LaCon. We will be right back after these messages. We're going to talk about stress. Oh, great job. Thank you, Zach. Let's see, Zach. Thank you, Zach. Zach, my Urbanite has been there from the beginning. Thank you. Very important. Yes, it is very important talking about how to not be overwrought with stress. We all have stress. I experience stress. We're going to talk about the foundation of stress tonight. I'm not going to be on for long, but it's going to be very practical tips. after a word from my message, a message from Blessed Ministries Incorporated, as well as the missing persons, and we have some current news updates. It's going to be hilarious. All right, so we'll be right back. All right, so we are back with our missing person segment. And if you are new to the Urban Suite, every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I do this missing person every time I come on live. And tonight is no exception. So who do we have? We have, he's 12 years old, Nasir Shields. He's been missing since May 20th, 2024 from Philadelphia. Listen, wait a minute. What is happening in Philadelphia? I think I have reported on at least 5 children from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if they're reporting it more, or I don't know if the occurrence is occurring more frequently, but something is happening in Philadelphia. Listen, I need you all in Philadelphia. I need you to share this information. He's only 12 years old. His name is Nasir Shields. He's been missing since May 20th, 2024. He's a male. His race is Black. His complexion is medium. His height, he's 4'5". He's only 78 pounds. His hair color is black. His hair length is short. And his eye color is brown. It says Nasir was last seen on May 20th, 2024 on the 3300 block of Old York Road. I'm going to repeat that for my Amazon, Apple, iHeartRadio, and Spotify urbanites. I need you to listen to this very carefully because you cannot see him. But if you want to see him, go to YouTube, Urban Tools for Change Network. Go to Urban Tools for Change Network so you can actually see his picture. 3300 block of Old York Road. Look at that little baby's picture. Look at him. Circumstances of disappearance is unknown. Anyone with information, please contact the Philadelphia Police Department at area code 215-686-3243. Listen, I'm going to repeat that. The telephone number for the Philadelphia Police Department, area code 215-686-3243. Or you can get in contact with BAMFI, that is the Black and Missing Foundation Incorporated, at 877-97-BAMFI, and BAMFI translates into 22634. Again, that's 877-97-22634. That's BAMFI's telephone number. So let's bring Nasir Shields home. All right. So in the news, I always have to report on Nicki Minaj, what's happening with Nicki Minaj. It's just, unfortunately, she's the gift that keeps on giving. She's the gift that keeps on giving. Nicki Minaj, I have to pray for her because she reminds me of Faith. There's always some type of black cloud surrounding them based on their decisions, their choices that they have made to create, guess what? Stress in their lives. Because oftentimes with stress, we can become the direct culprit of stress happening in our life. You know that based on the choices and the decisions that we make, we can end up in stressful environments. Let's take a look at this clip with Nicki Minaj.
I'm not carrying drugs.
Okay, but it's not a question here. I think it's.
I'm not
smart
carrying
to go
drugs.
inside.
Number one, when I came here,
Yeah.
the
Okay,
back.
you can go inside.
I'm not going in there. I need a lawyer present.
You will get a lawyer. It's
No, I
problem.
need a lawyer present now.
Okay, please.
Where am I going? I have no idea where
you
I'm
have
going.
to go to the police station.
What address is that?
It's 5 minutes away.
It's
They
5 minutes
texted
away.
it.
What's the address of the police precinct?
When you will catch your next show, we have to do it very fast, and we will help. But
You're talking about my show?
yes,
What about it?
yeah, we
He
talk.
said they will help to try to get you there.
They'll help to try to get me to my
Yes.
show.
So you get them
How?
out very quickly.
To do it as soon as possible. But we
But
can.
what am I doing? What am I doing? I
You
never
are
gave
under
anyone
arrest.
I never. So I'm under arrest.
Yes.
But
Yes.
under arrest for what?
Okay. Stop filming now.
All right, now I have to give props to Nicki Minaj. I have to give props. She sounds as if she's not reacting to what the situation is. It sounds as if to me she's responding. She seems really calm. Like, is this staged? She seems really calm, cool, and collected. She's asking the correct questions. She's saying the correct things. I would like to get my lawyer. She's not displaying an attitude or anything like that. Her disposition is very, I would say it's pretty calm at this point. But I also have to say, I thank God her husband wasn't there. Let me tell you, because if her husband was there, I think there would have been a brawl. All right, let's continue.
I'm under arrest for what?
Okay.
Do you
Stop
know what
filming
happened
now.
when I came
You have to
here?
go inside.
Huh? What you said?
Can you please stop filming? Please just step in.
Now, she seems to be by herself. Where's her entourage? Like, does she try? I know she doesn't travel by herself. Like, where? She's surrounded by all of these men. It looks like, what, 6, 7 men surrounding her with uniforms and guns, like in a foreign country. Like,
she seems like she's
No, I
being
need-
cautious too. Because they could be anybody really impersonating police or anything. Like, she doesn't know who those people
who they are, right? She doesn't know who
Being
they
cautious.
are.
Yeah.
Where is her entourage? But
Yeah,
again,
that's-
I'm glad her husband is not
A
there.
lawyer, because I don't know where I'm going.
You will get a lawyer at the office. You can contact the lawyer, but if you just step in the car, then it will go as fast as possible.
And who's going in this vehicle?
So please step.
He will go with you.
If she gets in the car now, or this, I don't know what this is.
It's a police van. Yeah.
It's a police paddy wagon. With
Yeah,
the
paddy wagon.
Get Smart doors. Remember Get Smart?
Yeah.
They had all the doors. I mean, they're bolting her up in there.
Right. She's not getting out of there, but they did seem sort of cordial. Like they weren't beating her up or anything like that, and they weren't, putting her in handcuffs and stuff either. So they did treat her with a little bit of respect,
Oh yeah, absolutely. But again, if her husband was there, it would have been a different situation.
Oh yeah.
It would have been a different situation. As far as I know, he is still on house arrest from
Yeah.
his last violation. So he probably didn't go because all eyes are on him. All eyes are on him. And if he were to go, or if he were to be there, that means that his parole officer would
Yeah.
have allowed him to go. And then if his parole officer would have allowed him to go, and then there was some type of altercation, that is not a good look for parole.
Yeah, but obviously, this is not a good look for Nicki Minaj either. And somebody was being funny and posted this on Twitter. They said that's Nicki Minaj's family.
Oh, that is so. We're talking about there. Okay, so for my urbanites that cannot see what Kurt Nice just put up, for my urbanites that cannot see, on Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon, he put up a picture of what are the ankle bracelets of a little baby. It looks like a man and a woman. It looks like a family full of ankle bracelets. Ankle bracelet family. And they said, what? What did they say?
That this is Nicki Minaj's family picture right now.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
They said, why do you put the ankle bracelet on the baby though? That's what the baby do.
I said the baby's probably smuggling too. All right, so that is, we gotta pray for Nicki. I mean,
Did you see the what happened at the the Cannes Film Festival? That security guard was bullying the people off the stage. I'll have to get you video.
I saw that with Kelly Rowland
exactly.
People and
exactly. Like she was just a security guard. She wasn't even police or anybody, but she had her little authority thing, and she was just pushing them off the red carpet.
Well, because you know what? When people are stressed, like she probably stressed, and people are stressed. That's the difference between reacting and responding. So what I do, I will give Nicki credit. I will give Nicki credit. She was very calm.
Yeah.
Very calm.
Yeah.
She did not,
blow up.
What you say?
She didn't blow up. She didn't act out or anything.
Right. She was
like
very
if her husband was there, it would have been a big problem.
It would have gone south.
Because he would have acted real
he's on house arrest. I'm so glad he's on house arrest and he was not there, because he is going to be, in my opinion, this is my opinion, he's going to be her demise.
Her downfall, yeah, I knew.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I've been saying this for years.
Okay.
Who you marry will control your destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Who you marry or who you have children with.
Right.
So for them, they're married and they have children.
Yeah.
So that's the double thing right there. Like, oh my goodness.
They tied together forever. Yeah.
I'm just glad, seriously, he was not there, because he reminds me of someone that cannot regulate his emotions at all. He would never be able to do what she did.
Yeah. And those cops weren't acting real crazy or anything.
No.
Like, they weren't acting like that security guard on the red carpet.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, Kelly Rowland was about to smack that woman or whatever.
It was crazy. All right, so let's segue into about stress.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my Dr. Lisa's own personal theory about stress, and I'll say anxiety. Now, let me preference by saying there are different types of stress. There is good stress, and then there's bad stress. So good stress is, say for instance, if you're about to get married or you're about to see a loved one come off of a plane that you haven't seen in a long time. We see a lot of those pictures of, people waiting for their loved ones to come home from war, and they're just anxiously waiting, but they're so excited. But inside your body, what's happening is your cortisone is rising, going up, up, up. But tonight we're talking not about the positive stress, but unfortunately about the negative stress. And most stress starts where?
In the mind.
In the mind. Right here in the mind. Most stress starts in the mind because what it is basically your thoughts. What is the movie scene that is occurring in your mind? Is it intrusive thoughts? Meaning these are thoughts that just pop up and they have a negative effect on you. You perceive that thought as something negative. It just pops up. That's intrusive. And then you have these ruminating thoughts. Ruminating thought process. These are thoughts that you play over and over and over and over again in your mind, and they're focused on a negative behavior occurring. And what happens is the thing that you're thinking about, that negative thought, it actually in your mind disrupts your comfortability. So you are no longer in your mind comfortable with the thoughts that is being portrayed to you. So it's always about what you perceive. So this is my own personal theory. It's called the bear effect. It's beliefs expected as reality. BEAR. And within this bear effect, listen to what I just said. Your beliefs, what you think, expected as reality. You really believe what you think is going to occur and become a reality. When it is in your mind and it has not manifested outwardly of your mind, it is not a reality. And in this bear effect, there are 3 data points that I discuss. It's 1, historical, 2, witnessed, and 3, vicarious. And these data points play a very important role into why we may experience anxiety. Also, with the bear effect, this can also explain discriminatory attitudes toward people and stigma. I have another teaching on that. I'll do that at another time. But with this bear effect, beliefs expected as reality, the thing is this: historical data, and I talk about this before, historical data is when something negative happened to you personally. You were the target of negative behavior. So for me, I was the target of negative behavior by 2 large dogs when I was in the 5th or 6th grade. They attacked me. So because of that one incident, every time I would walk past or see a big dog, what did you think I would do? I would think that that dog would attack me. And what did that do? That increased my anxiety level because it was my thoughts. I believed that those dogs were going to attack me. So I perceived those dogs as a threat to my comfortability. So witness data is this. Witness data is if I was attacked, right? But my sister saw me being attacked by dogs, then she would have a heightened anxiety about big dogs because she witnessed something negative happen to perhaps her loved one or whatever. She was right there in the environment. However, it didn't happen to her directly, but she witnessed the incident. And as a result of her witnessing that incident, now she goes through life having this fear or anxiety of big dogs. So when she sees these dogs coming towards her or just in her environment, her stress level will rise. And then vicarious data. Vicarious data means basically you're living through someone else's experience. So, say for instance, if you were never in the environment and something like that happened in a different country or in a different state, and you read about it, you saw it on social media, whatever. Now, based on what you saw, based on what you heard, you weren't in the environment, you too can now experience this stress when you see a large dog. That's just an example. But the foundation of it is what you perceive to be a negative experience that will, in a sense, disrupt your comfort level. So, say for instance, if I am walking toward you and there's a dog charging behind me, but I don't see the dog, I am unaware of what's going to happen. So, guess what? I have no stress. But as soon as I turn around, I see this dog charging toward me. Guess what will happen? My stress level will increase because in my mind, I'm going to believe that this dog is going to charge me, that this dog is going to bite me, this dog is going to tackle me, this dog is going to harm me and disrupt my comfort level. So when we have these ruminating thoughts, it means basically we're thinking these negative thoughts over and over and over and over again. This movie scene is playing in our head over and over and over and over again, and we don't know how to quiet it. We don't know how to stop it. Now, there are a couple of things that we can do to stop it, because at the end of the day, oftentimes we are in control. Let me say this again. We are in control of our thought life.
All right, before you go into the specifics of that, now with the vicarious data, for instance, does it always have to be true? Like,
no, it does not.
Like, what
It
if it's
does
like,
not.
lies? Like, what if some people are stereotyping something about something, right? It's like, oh, that don't mess with that group of people. Don't go on that side of town because they're gonna do X, Y, and Z to you. But
That
you
is-
never saw anything, nothing ever happened. But they just might
They
be
say,
prejudiced.
right, yeah, that is true, right?
But you believe that, so when you see them type of people, you've been told all your life that they're gonna do something bad to you.
Right. And that's when stigma comes in. And that's when on my teaching about stigma, stereotypes, prejudice, and discrimination. Because these three data points can be used, historical data, witness data, vicarious data, can be used with stigmatizing attitudes towards people, places, or things. Absolutely. So it's sort of like the boogeyman.
They're like misinterpretations though, like, or if you like see a dog jumping on a little kid and you might perceive that as, oh, that dog is trying to kill that kid, where it might have, they just might have been playing or something like that, like you weren't accurate with what you saw, what you thought was happening.
Right. So now you spread what you saw, someone else can pick it up. So say for instance, if you saw a pit bull doing that, the pit bull was playing, but you interpret it as the pit bull attacking. Now you posted, oh, this pit bull was dangerous, this pit bull was attacking so and so, so and so. Now, if I read it and I wasn't in the environment and I believe you, now when I see a pit bull, I'm going to be hesitant, and it's going to increase my anxiety level, which can increase or will increase my stress level whenever I am around or see a pit bull.
Because like, when people play with
false information.
And like, because when people play with pit bulls, they like to, put a bone in their mouth or something like that and make them shake it and pull it. And it looks kind of violent or whatever,
Right.
But they're having fun though. I mean, like, that's how the owner and the dog kind of have fun though. But it doesn't look fun from the outside though.
Right. Now, and if you see meat gone from the person's face.
No, but how dogs, like pit bull, they like to pull on ropes and stuff like that. Or like, that's how they like they play with their dog. I've seen it so many times. That's
Right.
how people play with their pit bull. Like, here, grab it, and then they'll shake their head, and that's very violent. You know what I mean? It's
It
very
is.
violent.
So
Yeah.
how do we stop those thoughts? How do we stop those thoughts? One thing that we can do is be mindful. And what does that mean? When you're operating in mindfulness, basically that means that you have to kind of stop and do a reality check about what's happening right now. So say for instance, in the situation with the dogs. So you can say, you know what? I see this dog. All this happens really fast in your mind. I see this dog. This dog is on a leash. This dog, may not hurt me, may not harm me, and I don't even know if it's true or not. So guess what? I'm just going to keep walking. I'm not going to turn my direction around. I'm just going to keep walking and do what I'm doing. And then what you have done is exposure therapy, in a sense, can also help. That means you can confront the stressor of your life, in a sense, to say, okay, this is no longer a stressor. These thoughts are no longer valid in my mind. So being mindful is called mindfulness. Really being cognitively aware of your surroundings and your environment right then and there. What is happening to me? What are these thoughts? Why am I having these thoughts? And I need to dispel these thoughts. And sometimes you can assist in being alleviated from stress is having a support group, whether it's a friend giving you an encouraging word, whether it's a song feeding into your spirit, feeding into your soul, so that you can counteract those negative thoughts in your head. And oftentimes what you need to do is counteract those negative thoughts with positive ones. And a lot of people, when they say stuff like, speak things out in the universe, it sounds kind of hokey, but there is something as self-fulfilling prophecy. Self-fulfilling prophecy is if you keep saying to yourself, I'm nobody, I'm nobody, I'm not good at anything, I'm not good at anything, you're going to keep saying that. And then what's going to happen is you're going to believe what you say. You're going to believe what you say. And you're exercising your mind to believe what you say. So if you say, this is not going to happen to Esther, I'm just using Esther as an example. This is not going to happen to Esther. This is not going to happen to Esther. Esther will be fine. Esther will be safe. Esther will be okay. Esther is going to call me at 9:00. Esther will da da da. If you keep saying that, then you're going to naturally believe that, which can assist you. And then other times to relieve your stress is sometimes you need evidence or verification about certain things happening. You can do your research to find out. So say, for instance, if you're getting ready to go on a trip and it may stress you out, what you can do is do your research about the place that you're going to, figure out the lay of the land, figure out their rules, their mores, figure out certain things so that you'll have a level of expectation. Because oftentimes stress is the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen, or you may know what's going to happen, but you may not like the consequences of that behavior because it's going to disrupt your comfort level, and you know it. So say, for instance, for me, I cannot stand amusement park rides that have big dips. Can't stand it. Don't like it. I hate it. So what happens is when I'm standing in line, whenever my friend says, Lisa, come on, let's get on this ride, I'm like, okay, I'll get on the ride. What happens? My palms get sweaty. My heartbeat is racing. I know what's going to happen. I know I'm going to get in that seat and fall and dip, And then that uncomfortable feeling of my stomach coming into my throat and back down. I hate that feeling. Ugh. But it doesn't relieve my stress. But I know that for something like that, it's not going to last for a very long time.
People do that for fun, though. Like people go there
Yeah, they do.
specifically
They
for
love
that
it.
feeling.
I don't like it. Ugh. I don't like it at all. So, but one other thing, if you are a Christian, reading your scripture, standing on what the scripture says, and announcing who you are, so that that object of that stress is no longer there. There are times when I'm very stressed. Sometimes I get stressed. There are different degrees of stress, right? So, a little stress for me is, and I'll be very honest, I don't like going into grocery stores in new environments. I am a creature of habit. I like going to my grocery store that I am comfortable with, that I am used to going to. I don't like going into a new grocery store, going up and down the aisle, looking at different things and where's this and where's that, like Costco. Every Costco is the same, but every Costco is different, meaning they pretty much have the same items in Costco, but they're arranged in different aisles. A Costco store, the layout is different. So if I go to a Costco in New Jersey, say for instance on Route 22 or Route 10, those are the two Costcos that I'm used to going to. Outside of those two Costcos, if I have to go to a new Costco, say for instance in Virginia, now I get a little stressed because I'm like, am I going to find everything that I need? Am I going to have to be looking up and down? I can't stand that. Versus another stress or another degree of stress. So it's not a bad stress. But when my son went to South Africa, he was so far away from home. And it's like sometimes stress, it keeps you up at night. Stress can impact and affect your immune system where you can become sick. You can lose your hair. You can do a lot of things because of those thoughts. So the thoughts I had was, oh my gosh, because I do these missing persons. Oh my gosh, somebody's going to steal them. Somebody's going to take them. Somebody's going to kidnap them. Like these are the thoughts. I have to shut them down. I have to purposely say, stop. Stop. That is not going to happen. The angel of the Lord is going to protect them. He's going to come home safe. I have to actually say, stop. Because you have to be very bold with your thoughts. And you have to, like I said, take control of your thought life, because your thought life can take control of you. And when your thought life takes control of you and it's focused on negative things, negative behavior, negative deeds, it can get you in a world of trouble. And sometimes you have to put your foot down and say, stop it. Stop it right now. You have to put an end to that movie scene, because when that movie scene plays over and over and over and over again, it's like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen now? I'm expecting, torment to happen.
Well, it's just like when you didn't let them thieves stress you about stealing the car.
Right. I refuse. Like I said, I refuse to allow them to stress me out when they were having fun. They were having fun, and then I'm stressed out when it's my car. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. But I controlled it. I thought, thank God no one was hurt. No one was injured. Thank God. I focused on the positive things. I focused on, you know what? It's only a car. I focused on, we can get another one. I focused on my husband wasn't harmed. I focused on my children weren't harmed. I focused on I wasn't harmed. So what you focus on will grow. If you focus on the positive thoughts, that's what will grow. If you focus on the negative thoughts, that's what will grow. So you choose what you focus on. What you focus on will grow. I guarantee it. It's sort of like planting flowers. What flowers you pay more attention to and you nurture, they're going to grow better than the ones that you ignore. So, what are
Oh,
you focused on?
right. So let's just watch that thing, and then we'll conclude on the other side of this, and maybe going through a few of those topics before you leave out.
Okay.
So let's just watch again what they say about stress.
11. If, then algorithms for self-care. By Ben Meir. Tip number 5. 5. If you find yourself stuck in a mental loop, ask yourself, is this useful? And will I care about this in 1 year?
Yes, and I love how he says, even though she sounds like a robot, well, I care about this in 1 year. Is this useful? I'm gonna start talking like
Okay, now
that's AI.
Stay free.
That's AI, and she talks like this. But she said something very, very important. Is this useful? Is this thought that I have useful? Is it benefiting me? And how is this negative thought benefiting me? Is it beneficial to me? Is it beneficial to my overall health? Is it beneficial to my immune system? Is it beneficial to me getting a good night's sleep? How is this beneficial to me? And would I care about this a year from now? Very important. Will I care about this a year from now? Because I remember there are certain things that I used to stress about, and I'm like, what in the world? Why was I stressing about that? It just made no sense. Like, it just, looking back, it's like, oh my gosh. Because I didn't understand the power of asking myself that question. Is this thought beneficial to me? It's either yes or no. No, it is not beneficial. Okay, so if this thought is not beneficial, what must I do? I have to stop this movie that's playing over in my head and think about something else and then move on. Sometimes you need healthy distractions. Sometimes you have to move on because if you keep, like she said, a loop, that's ruminating thought process. It's called RTP, ruminating thought process. You're in this loop going over and over and over and over again. It's sort of like on TikTok. If you don't scroll up or down or whatever you're watching at that point, it goes in a loop. It just goes over and over and over, and you feel trapped. You feel trapped. And please be careful who you surround yourself with. Because if you surround yourself with people that talk and feed into that stress and that negative behavior, it's going to be contagious. It's going to grab hold of you. And then guess what? You'll never get out that loop. Never get out that loop. So you have to be mindful also of your circle of support, your friends. Be mindful. Ask yourself that question also. Is this beneficial for me to have these thoughts over and over and over again? And in a year's time, will I really care about this?
All right, now
Mm-hmm.
stories that came up deal specifically with that ruminating thoughts and will I care about this in a year and stuff. And that's this story here.
Okay.
This is truly a story of grief taking hold of you. Revenge killing at a prom. Man avenges son death by murdering cop's daughter. The story goes a night meant for celebration turned into a horrific scene of violence when 45-year-old Douglas Barnes was arrested for the murder of 17-year-old Samantha McCaffrey at her high school prom. The incident occurred on Friday evening outside Livonia High School, leaving the community in shock and mourning. Samantha McCaffrey, daughter of Sergeant Mike McCaffrey of the Livonia Police Department, was stepping out of her limousine when Barnes, armed with an AK-47, opened fire, riddling the teenager with bullets. Witnesses report that Barnes then sat and awaited the arrival of the police, repeatedly shouting, "An eye for an eye." The tragic event is believed to be rooted in a deadly encounter 4 years prior in 2020. Sergeant McCaffrey fatally shot Barnes' son, 19-year-old Gino Barnes, during a traffic stop. The confrontation began over expired tags and escalated into a heated verbal argument, according to reports. Gino Barnes reached for his glove box to retrieve his insurance information, prompting McCaffrey to open fire. The sergeant was later acquitted of all charges, a verdict that basically was devastated by the father pretty much. And it was stated that the father had been following the sergeant for years, because this was 4 years after his son had been shot. So grief basically took this father to the point of getting revenge for his son's death. What do you guys think about this?
So this is interesting because this is 4 years. So at first, I have to say, I thought that was when I first saw the picture. I thought it was Samuel Jackson. I was like, "What is Samuel Jackson? What happened to him?" But you know, this man was tormented for 4 years. Tormented. And what he experiences RTP, ruminating thought process. In his mind, he was in an eternal loop in his mind about the incident that happened and how to seek justice his way. So for 4 years, because it also said that he followed the police officer on Facebook, like social media. That's how he found out about the prom. So he kind of followed the police officer. He knew the police officer had a daughter going to. He waited for 4 years to strike back. So in those 4 years, what did I say? What you focus on will grow. His hatred, it grew, and he not only wanted revenge, but he wanted revenge that would be detrimental and it would sting. He hated that cop. He hated the daughter. He hated everything that they stood for, and he sat on it for 4 years. That is really intense, and that's really incredible when you think about it. That he was patient enough to wait for 4 years. So when that incident happened, the daughter that was shot, she was only in the eighth grade. She was only in the eighth grade. So,
But do you think he would have did that if the cop would have went to jail or something like that? I think it was because he was acquitted and nothing happened to the cop. That's probably why he
probably
was
so,
upset.
yeah. I think you're right. I think you're right. That's why he said eye for an eye, because he felt that the law was totally blind, and not blind to I don't see color, I don't see this, I don't know, but blind to the effect of this cop shooting and killing this child, which was his child. I have something interesting. Let me read this to you, because this goes to I was in Virginia Beach this weekend, And let me read this to you. This is an amazing story to me. It's about a cop. His name is Hezekiah Little, and this is in 1953. Listen to this. All right. Special Police Officer Hezekiah Little was accidentally shot and killed by another officer as they were attempting an arrest along the Seaview Beach Amusement Park boardwalk on Sunday, August 2nd, 1953. The suspect began to struggle with Officer Little, and the suspect was a soldier, and disarmed him. As the two continued to struggle, the other officer fired two shots at the soldier, but struck Officer Little in the head, killing him. YouTube, I'm reading from the Virginia Beach plaque, okay? The suspect was arrested and charged with malicious assault, and the officer who shot Officer Little was charged with manslaughter. Listen to this. Charges against the subject and the other officer, or against the subject, meaning the soldier, and the other officer were eventually dropped. Isn't that something?
Somebody in this got to be black. What's going on right now? Somebody's black in this scenario.
Well, Officer Hezekiah Little is black, the one that was shot and killed.
Okay, well, and that's why it was, because I don't know, like everybody got off. You telling me?
Everyone, the soldier that was confronting the officer and fighting with the officer, he got off, as well as the police officer that shot Officer Little.
Were they white?
Yes.
Okay, that explains everything. That explains everything.
Yep. So
normally the suspect will be charged with his death. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the officer wouldn't have been charged with anything.
And remember, this is 1953 in Virginia.
Well,
and listen to this. This is interesting. Officer Little had been appointed a special police officer for Princess Anne County to serve Seaview Beach only 5 weeks earlier.
Yeah, he was a rookie.
He was pretty much a rookie. He was only 26 years old.
Well, isn't that witness data for black people that they should have anxiety when it comes to policing?
Absolutely. Well, not witness data, that's vicarious.
Vicarious data.
Right, that's vicarious. Right. Witness is whoever was there, saw it, and then, it didn't happen to them personally. But with this story, based on this gentleman, what is his name?
Barnes. They got Barnes.
Yeah.
Story
right. So Mr. Barnes, based on what he has experienced either vicariously about police officers or what he witnessed, because his son, what happened with his son, now he believes that, police officers, they can get off and do anything without the consequences.
And the historical data would be them going through the trial and the guy got acquitted right in front of his face. You know what I mean? Like that happened to him. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So yeah. So for 4 years, his anxiety was just like, and then he probably witnessed what happened to George Zimmerman.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
He said enough is enough, and unfortunately, an innocent bystander, this 17-year-old child,
But now the officer's gonna feel like he felt, though.
Absolutely.
In his mind, that's what he wanted. He wanted that officer to feel like he felt.
Right.
He didn't want to get him. He wanted to make him feel like he felt.
Right. You took mine, so I'm going to take yours. And he sat on that for 4 years. He sat on that thought because it was all a thought. Before he engaged in any type of behavior, it is always a thought. So for 4 years, he was thinking about getting revenge.
All right.
That's
Well, that is very harsh. I know, but this, you know what? Let's probably try to end on a little bit of a lighter note. I don't know if it's going to be fully lighter or not, but
Mhm.
we did that story a week or two ago about the substitute teacher. Remember that story?
Yes.
And another little story popped up on the Twitter today.
Okay, let's see.
Show you that. Here you see, I muted the music because the music is, but here's you see a principal of a school getting his head bedazzled by some students. He's
Mm.
getting they bedazzled his head like maybe an end of the year prank. I'm not sure what it was, but people reacted on Twitter.
All right, so I don't think anything's going to happen to him.
This is what they said. If you could read
It's
the
kind of worse because he's a principal. I don't understand why educators are trying to be friends with their students. I think it's weird. I think it's weird too. I agree. I agree. And then it's the last days of school. For Christ's sakes, people. When I was in school, they used to do all kind of terrible stuff to the staff on the last day. It's really not that serious. Well, what school system did he go to that they used to do terrible stuff?
Well,
I'm
they do
like,
pranks and stuff like that. Like honestly,
we,
that's a lot of white schools. They do pranks and stuff at the end of the year.
oh,
Toilet
we didn't do
paper and
pranks.
move statues. Yeah.
We just had to clean our rooms and desk and prepare. The white community aren't going to push outrage as ours did. No, they're not. Yeah, the principal didn't post this. I think a kid did. It's not appropriate for school. I swear that so many people grew up without fathers that they don't know what healthy interactions with men look like. Leave them kids and their positive male father figures alone. I don't like that.
Well, you have both. You have both sides of it. Some people are saying it's not a big deal. Other people are saying it's a big deal.
Yeah, no, I'm not for that. I don't want my kid bedazzling no man's head. Like, that is creepy to me. I mean, what did you do today at school? Oh, we bedazzled my principal's head. What?
but you know what? They could have said, "Oh, well, we toilet papered the whole school" or something like that as the end of the year prank. At least it wasn't something like that, right? That you had to pay for.
I don't know.
We
Somebody had to
spray
pay
painted the principal's car pink or something like that. They
somebody
didn't
bedazzled. Somebody had to pay for those bedazzles. I mean, that's
he looked like he was having fun. They all, I mean, they sort of looked like they was having fun, right?
He's wearing his bedazzle with his pink shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So that's what we have.
Oh, that's what Raquel said. Yes, thank you, Raquel.
What?
She said, clean my desk and left. Never touched the teacher's head. Like, what is this? Thank you, Raquel. Never touched the teacher. I mean, what is this? It's ridiculous to me.
Oh, my goodness.
It really is. Clean my desk and left. Right. I remember my last days of school, clean the desk. The music was playing over the loud system, the PA system. My teacher had a TV. They put the TV in the room, so we were watching TV, and then cleaning, and then we left.
Yeah, that's how it was in our school too. But that's not how it is in the rural areas or certain other areas.
Namaste. There's Felicia. Namaste. Oh, thank you. Namaste, namaste, namaste. See, Felicia, you came in all late. We getting ready to bounce. Kurt Nice has me on a tight schedule tonight. I'm on a tight schedule. So we have Zach, Raquel, Felicia. Thank you for entering into the Urban Suite on YouTube and Facebook. And then later on, unfortunately, I don't see who like my Urbanites on Apple or whatever. I don't get a chance to see who they are. I just see where they're from. So Canada is number 2 and number 3 is Australia. Remember, Australia was number 2 and then Canada was number 3. So the Canadians and the Australians, they're listening to the Urban Suite. Thank you all so very much. All right, so we're getting ready to get out of here. So, that's the one thing about stress. What you focus on will grow. And Mr. Barnes, He focused on what, Kurt Nice?
Revenge.
He focused on revenge.
Yeah. He
And
couldn't
that's
take
what
it.
happened. He got it. He killed, unalive, whatever you want to say,
Unalive, yeah.
to a 17-year-old because the officer killed his son.
And got acquitted.
And was acquitted.
Yeah.
And was acquitted. I'm telling you, our thought life is something else. He sat on that for 4 years. He actually thought about that for 4 years, getting revenge. And it grew and grew and grew and grew. And the day came when she had a prom. She stepped out of the car.
And he took it. And he didn't go anywhere. He stayed there till the police got him and stuff like that. He didn't try to run. He didn't try to kill a whole bunch of other people. He just got that one girl, and then that was it.
My goodness, my goodness. All right, so next week is June. I'm going to see if I can have some special guests in June. One special guest would be Hannah LaCon. That's my daughter, Hannah LaCon. Yes, so she's going to join the Urban Suite talking about Blacks in tech and mental health. It's going to be very interesting. I think she's going to come on the second Tuesday in June. But yeah, I'm telling you, this year has been something else so far, from Dr. Antoinette, what is her name? Antoinette Candia Bailey, to P. Diddy, and just, now Nicki Minaj.
There's a lot going on already. So we'll have a little recap, a 6-month recap.
Yes, a 6-month recap. Absolutely. Yes, that's what we'll do next Tuesday, a 6-month recap. All right, so Urbanites, thank you for tuning in to the Urban Suite with me, Dr. Lisa LaCon, where you laugh, learn, cry, and grow. Until next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every Tuesday, I'm here, God willing. And on that note, Marley, take us away.